Hey guys, it's Whitney. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have two fall DIYs using mostly Dollar Tree supplies. I'm excited to share them with you, so let's get started. Okay, DIY number one. So for this one right here, I started with two of the cute little wooden crates. You can see right there, wooden crates from Dollar Tree. Everybody sees those. There's an extra piece of styrofoam I got from something that's shipped. We got Dollar Tree nautical rope. We've got some Walmart lamb's ear, Hobby Lobby sunflowers, and then Dollar Tree eucalyptus, and then some Walmart pumpkins. But the rest of these things here, I end up not using those guys, so you can just ignore that. And then I also quickly showed you some wood glue up there. So what I did was I cut this smaller piece to fit into one of the crates of styrofoam. I cut a smaller piece of styrofoam to fit into the crates from that larger piece. So then we're just going to take off our labels, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two crates and I'm going to put the bottoms together to stack it. So I'm going to make a much taller arrangement out of this. I'm going to make this into a vertical piece instead of horizontal. So with the mixture of wood glue and hot glue, the wood glue would be for your long-term hold, and the hot glue is for the immediate hold so that it doesn't fall apart while I'm using it. And then those two are pretty much solid once I put them together. Now if it was painted, you won't need the wood glue, because wood glue is for exactly that, wood to wood contact. Otherwise hot glue would be fine, but I didn't want to paint, I wanted to leave it natural. So here I am taking now the Dollar Tree nautical rope, and I used both of those packages of nautical rope. This is my first time using the nautical rope, and I'll tell you one thing, that stuff frays like, I just burnt my fingers right there, isn't that great? First time back making something in a while, and what do? I hurt my paw. Yeah, I burnt that finger pretty good. So, put on them finger protectors, guys. And even though I'm wearing the finger protectors, I still stuck my finger in the hot glue on the finger that didn't have a finger protector. Isn't that right? Murphy's Law. Anyways, so what I did was, I'm just going to start on what I'm going to use as the back of this particular arrangement. Now, it can be a centerpiece, but in my opinion, I wasn't happy with the way the back of this looked. So, that's up to you guys. If you guys have a better, I don't know, system or some advice on how to put these things together with this dang nautical rope that unwinds all the time, it just unravels on you so easy. I just basically put the hot glue against the wood and just, ran the nautical rope right on top of those ran the nautical rope right on top of the line of hot glue in order to secure it there. And again, this will work fine because your nautical rope is not made of wood, so nautical rope is made of whatever it's made out of. What is it? It's a linen or a canvas or whoever knows, or cotton. And that sticks immediately too. So what I did was, instead of cutting it and making a line each time, because that would literally drive me insane, sanity's in short supply these days, so I just kind of went upwards once I hit that space in the back where I'd started. So you're going to see a little jump upwards, and I felt like that would probably be fine for the back of the project. Well, you'll see at the end here once I'm done putting all this rope on. I wasn't exactly happy with that, but you guys tell me what you think. So here I am literally just applying a line of hot glue and then place the nautical rope right over it. Line of hot glue, lay the nautical rope right over top of that. I started to stretch it a little bit when it got towards the top, so I started to pull on it a little bit more, and you'll see that the rope does stretch out, so you can make it probably last. You could get a little bit more out of it than just laying it down as it sits. Now this little transition here from one to the next, because it is tricky, wasn't happy with it at all, but if you guys saw at the beginning with the pictures and stuff, you'll see I covered it with some ribbon, and you'll see that in a second. But again, just keep placing that nautical rope all the way up. This is why I didn't paint it also, because I knew I was going to cover it with rope. I like the texture of it. I think it added just a very nice, neat, the lines were straight on the front at least. The lines were straight, and it made it just look so cute. So I didn't paint the crates. I didn't feel like I needed to stain them either. I like this lighter wood color. A lot of the naturals is what I was going for in these colors. That's why I picked it. So that's why I didn't paint them. So here she is done. Again, back, not good. You'll see me thumbs down. Not good. But the front, I really like. I'm happy with. So what I'll do here is I will just say, okay, that sucks that the back doesn't look that good. I'll put my styrofoam in, play around with some stuff, add another glue stick, blah blah blah, waste time, pick up some glue, put it back in the pot, waste more time. Apparently I felt the need to not cut this out so you guys could watch. But what I did was I grabbed this little roll of ribbon I had off to the side that was calling my name. I hadn't planned on putting this in at all, but I really needed to cover that up because the top of the piece there where it ends towards the top. We're going to be covering that with, you know, the lamb's ear and the florals and stuff, but that transition on the back just was really bugging me. So this ribbon I just got at Michael's this year. Pretty much my Michael's was empty of fall stuff when I went. Then I went a while ago. I couldn't even honestly tell you guys when I went, because it doesn't really matter at this point. Everything's gone. So this is just some cute little Michael's ribbon with little pumpkins on it. And you guys know I'm addicted to punkies. So my obsession. Pumpkins are my spirit vegetable, or squash, whatever you want to say. So I felt like I put like just a little band of some interest around there to cover the back of it. Makes me happy. The front looks good. So I said, okay, I'm happy with that. Let's move on. So this right here is Dollar Tree Spanish moss. Very inexpensive, and it really went a long way. And I used it on both projects. I also used these same flowers on the second project also. But in order to cover some of that white styrofoam in there from showing, you always want to put something down. So if you're not going to put in a lot of green and a lot of leaves and a lot of florals, then just put down some sort of moss, Spanish moss or reindeer moss, something that will cover up any of that behind the scenes you don't want no one to see. So I grabbed some floral pins, and again, I got these floral pins from like Hobby Lobby 5 years ago. I've got like a bunch of 500. I still have a lot of them. So all I did was put a little bit of glue on the end of those floral pins and sink it right through the moss into that styrofoam, and then that's all you have to do. I didn't use a lot because, as you see here, I'm putting the lamb's ear in right now. You're putting glue on the ends of those. That's going to go through the floor, through the moss into the foam. You'll be fine. You'll be good to go. So this right here is the main event. This is the part that makes me so happy when it starts to come together. So I'm clipping things apart here. Some of those berry picks and some of those white picks I don't use at all. I grab things. Do you guys ever do that? Let me know in the comments. You grab a bunch of stuff as you're planning it out. You either use none of it or half of it, and then you end up grabbing other stuff from the back because you know you have something else. So the berry picks in there I didn't use at all. One of those berry picks, the white one, I used on my second project, but I didn't use those at all. Here's me just cutting up the Dollar Tree eucalyptus and just place it in as you see fit. Now, my suggestion is if you struggle with this part and like you just don't feel that you're able to find the right placement, don't use glue at first. Just place them in, see if you like them where they go, and then if you don't like them, you can take it all out and start over. And styrofoam is meant to have holes in it, guys, so you'll be good to go. Just pull that puppy back out, put it back in another spot, and wait till it feels right. Something will tell you. I get excited. You guys have heard me like in live streams and other videos where things just start to go into place, and that's just it's like your happy place. You'll know. It just clicks, and you just know. Because at least that's how I feel about it. Maybe I'm just weird. Let's not go into that. I know I'm weird, guys. But anyways, I'm just gonna adjust some more things here, and now I think we're going to put our pumpkins in. Yeah, here's me contemplating those berries, and I don't use either because I'm like I only have one of each, so Moving on, I grabbed these white velvet, or probably fake velvet pumpkins I got at Walmart this year. I was in Walmart picking up a bunch of it's my once every so many months go to Walmart and buy everything you possibly can for detergent and toothpaste and all that. I usually do that, guys. I'm a creature of habit. I don't like to go to Walmart if I don't have to. That's just how I am. I really don't like going to Walmart. So at least where I live here, they're not a pleasant place. But when I was walking past all the fall stuff, because of course I timed it that way, I saw these pumpkins. And I've also got some buffalo check ones too, just like that same size. And I forget how much they were. They weren't exactly cheap, but they weren't expensive either. So I just cut the 3 picks off, and then there's also like a little squiggly there, like I guess a tendril. I'm gonna put that in the arrangement too. The little stems were a little loose, so I just shot a little bit of hot glue just underneath the plastic piece of that stem, just to get it in there to make sure that that's secure, and that way it doesn't fall out or doesn't look crooked or just look bad. So you just push that further into the pumpkin itself with the glue. Here I'm going to put that little extra tendril in right next to it. Didn't really have to do much. I twisted the very end of it because it was starting to fray, and it kind of made it look a little bit cuter. So that end piece has like a little tiny little tight curl at the end of it. Now I'm going to add more stuff. The rest of this here is just me filling it in, making sure that all the empty spaces are covered, making sure that I've got enough of what I feel is I need, more lamb's ear in this space, more eucalyptus over here, trying to balance out the colors and everything, and pretty much was happy with what I came up with. And then there can always add another piece of eucalyptus, or always add another this, or always add another that. And then I'll show you guys what I missed. I was contemplating, do I need to add more of this? Should I add more? Of course you can always add more, Whitney. But then I realized as I'm showing the camera, hey, here's the finished product, look how cute it is. There's a couple things I missed, and you'll see in about 1 second once I show the camera exactly what I was done with. I'm going to just tack down the ribbon in the front with just a piece, a little dot of glue, just to keep it from sliding. That's what you see there. Alright, so here she is. Let's show her to the world. Nope, I guess yep, I found a piece in the back, had to fill that in. Now guys, I sped this up I think 3 times as fast as I really worked on it, and I guess it's just not fast enough. You guys tell me. Okay, finished project. Look how cute she is. I love those little white pumpkins. I like the white with the cream and the white with the light brown and the light greens and grays. I love mixing these colors this year. So here's this one side. That looks good. That looks good. And then styrofoam. Nobody wants to see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that Spanish moss that we used earlier. On the one side it's fine, but on this side it's not. So I'm literally just tucking it into the hole. That's that little handle on the side of that wooden crate. So I'm just really pushing it in there with my finger. If you can't get your finger in, use a dowel or a popsicle stick or something. And then I'm covering this side as well with just a little bit more, just to be careful. Did you see that right there, guys? A stick. There's an entire stick in that Spanish moss. So like sometimes, one of these days I'm going to pull out a shoe or something. You ever find weird stuff in your Spanish moss? Now see, look how pretty that is. Just stuffed it in with my fingers, made it like a little somewhat messy, but not what I would consider like horrible messy. Now I would brush off the front of that, but then see, all you got on the back there is just that little bit of an increase in the back on the bottom where that rope is. That's kind of, I can see past it. So I'm just adjusting my lambs here to cover up the rest of that, but I love this girl. She's so cute, and I like the height of adding the 2 crates. So the bottom of that is empty, obviously it's hollow. But there she is, you guys. Isn't it cute? I love the colors. I love how it turned out. It's going to be hard for me to let that one go, but I think we can do it. I think I'll be fine. You guys let me know. If you're interested in some of these things, I have a Ko-fi page where you can support me, and then I'm thinking of starting to list some of my items for sale there to see how that works out for us. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Okay, so DIY number 2. So our second project here is another Dollar Tree collaboration, you could say. We have a nautical sign, tag shaped sign. I love the shape of it, that's why I grabbed it. And then this right here is one of those neon orange, construction orange craft pumpkins from Dollar Tree that I cut in half, and I used half of it on another project last year, and so I have the other half I'm going to use this year. I've painted it white, of course. And then ta-da, all the same stuff I used on the previous DIY. So these two basically match. They're a matching set, or they don't have to be next to each other, but the same. Walmart lamb's ear, Dollar Tree eucalyptus, the other Hobby Lobby sunflower, and then the berries and all that kind of stuff. So first things first, I despise glitter, so I am not going to, that right there is Dollar Tree craft paper. So I'm not going to sand that off. I'm going to do is I'm take this craft paper that Dollar Tree sells, and if you don't get it at Dollar Tree, because I haven't found it forever, I've seen people do this all the time, and I wasn't able to find this craft paper at Dollar Tree for the longest time, but lucky me, I ran into it the day I went there and I got all these goodies. So I put the sign down, I trace around it, now I'm cutting it out. Now instead of me taking the time to sand off all that glitter and then get glitter in every crevice and piece and part of my house to the point where I'm petting my dogs a week later and I see a piece of glitter stuck to their wet nose, I despise it. So we're just going to cover it, literally cover it. There was a suggestion I saw on another channel where basically Goo Gone will take it all off, but if you put Glue Gone on, or not glue, Goo Gone on the back of this thing, that paper, that Dollar Tree paper will pop right up. You could probably peel it off too, but I felt like this gives it a more finished look. So basically when you're done, it sort of looks like, you know, a professional painting when you see those handmade paintings or those custom artwork that has the paper on the back of them. I think it gives it a much more professional appeal and look to it. That's just my opinion. You guys tell me what you think. So all I did was literally, you guys watched, I put the glue around it. I'm still kind of, you know, trimming off a little piece here and there because it's not gonna be perfect. So here's an awl. I took an awl so I could pop the holes back in so the holes look nice and they look like they match, because we're gonna use that hanger that we took off. We're gonna put that hanger back on it. And of course the awl that I use, that's in my Amazon shop. There's a link in the description below if you want to, you know, purchase any of the items that I'm using that I have in there. So first thing we're going to do now, we're getting ready to paint. So this is Mineral Chalk Paint by Waverly. I know a lot of Walmarts aren't carrying Waverly anymore, but just pick a light gray chalk paint or some sort of light gray paint. This right here, again, is a mineral color because I'm going to distress it in white. I wanted that farmhouse classic feel that I absolutely love. I love this color, and I love when you could put the dry brush effect over it in white. It just makes me smile no matter what's on it. It's good for country, it's good for shabby chic, it's good for French country. I love it for everything. And honestly, not one style is ever going to apply to anything you do, especially if you have a preference and you're making this for yourself. Do what makes you happy, guys. If it's your color preference, or sorry, your color palette, your choices, do whatever makes you happy, because right now this is making me super happy. So I had to do 2 coats. And then I had to use my heat gun. Now, I've seen a lot of people using heat guns and blow dryers and stuff. I don't have a blow dryer. I got short hair, guys. It's just how it is. I have short hair. Y'all have seen me. I got a mohawk. I don't have a blow dryer. This is actually what I used for my scrapbooking back in the day. So that's a heat tool I use for embossing. I'm pretty sure it's not meant to do what I'm doing because it's taking forever. It's taking forever to dry. So that's why you see me, I constantly check. I'm like, is there still air coming out? So I'm probably going to need to look into getting a heat gun on Amazon more than likely, because, you know, it just seems like Walmart's not carrying anything. Not Walmart. I'm sorry. My local Michael's doesn't seem to have much. But if you have any suggestions for a heat gun that does good at drying, can you guys send me some suggestions or links in the comments below? It'd be really great, because I am going to need one. The one that I have does not put air out pretty much at all. I've had it for probably 15 years. I used to do a lot of scrapbooking. So here's coat number 2. Goes on a lot faster. Don't forget your edges. Now I put the paper on, so some of the paper got paint on it. Still not a big deal in my opinion. Still looks good, and it gives you that, you know, handmade look, handmade effect to it. So also finish that. Now I have residual, obviously, paint left on my brush, so I'm taking that same mineral color and I'm just kind of, literally, I have no rhyme or reason what I'm doing to this pumpkin. You guys are going to see next when I have to add the white to it. It's a mess. So this is all dry. Now we're taking our white. This is Folk Art Home White Chalk Paint, and I have a chip brush. Again, the chip brush and that chalk paint, the Home Folk Art, I got on Amazon. That will be in my Amazon affiliate link in the description below. So I did all these vertical brushes with my chip brush. And then I'm going horizontal because I like both strokes to be in my type of distressing. And then I took my chip brush and I went around the edges just to give it a solid little white border. It makes a difference while you're making it. It just makes me happy. Now I'm going to go back and forth. Now what are you doing? You're taking most of the paint off of your brush, so you're only going to see me dip it in the lid. I'm going to be getting that open in about 5 seconds right now too, because I'm really not happy with my pumpkin. It looks almost exactly like the dang tag, and it's like it disappears in it and you can't tell there's a pumpkin there, because what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to make an arrangement coming out of the pumpkin for this tag, for this little wall hanging. The tag will be a wall hanging. So adding a little bit more of the mineral chalk paint color to the lid so I can just kind of dab that on there and make it more of a solid gray. And then I was going for making darker spots in the creases. See, now I'm taking the brush. Sorry that that's out of frame right now, guys. I'm taking the brush and I'm putting it in the creases of the pumpkin because I want it to look like the veins of the pumpkin are darker. And then I'm going to add the white, which I have here. We go. See, closed it too early, Whitney. Then I'm going to add the white back to the raised parts of the pumpkin because I want it to look like the creases are darker. So it has some sort of definition when I'm putting it on the sign. Otherwise, before this, guys, you couldn't tell a difference and I'd get lost in it. It was like you wouldn't even know there was a pumpkin down there. So this is just what you do. You dab, you take most of the paint off, you dab, you take most paint off, dab some more. You really can't mess it up, in my opinion. What I've told you, it may take me a little bit longer to get where I was, but in the end, I'm really happy with how she turned out. I think she was really cute because it got a little bit white. See, there you go. Now I'm happy. Perfect. So now we're going to dry these things and we are ready to start assembling. Here, guys, I took a sanding block. Also, you can find that in my Amazon link. I got a little group of sanding blocks there. Just to take off some of the paint gloopies. I got some gloops on the side and then just a little bit extra again instead of trimming more paper because you can't get your scissors close enough. So that's really all that is, just cleaning it up. And here's another little piece of that styrofoam that I had from a piece of like a delivery I got. Just find some random styrofoam and I cut it to fit in there because we're going to be popping stems of flowers and florals through the top, and since those pumpkins are hollow in the middle, I needed something to place everything into. So I'm basically turning it into a solid piece. That's all. So find something to fill it with that you have at your home, whether it's a new piece or not. Again, I got a delivery and I have a lot of that white styrofoam in my craft room. Lots of it. So put some hot glue all the way in the back and then secured it down towards the bottom of the tag so that we have a lot of length to put all those florals in. Now I'm moving on to the hanger. So that little hanger piece that we took out before we started painting. Now here, that was Amazon beads I got. They're wooden beads, 26mm and 16mm. You can buy those that exact pack that I bought, them together like that through my Amazon link below. What I started out doing is that little tag hanger that they put on there, it's perfect for what it is. I needed to add some beads to it. I wanted to put, again, natural color. I didn't stain them, I didn't paint them, I didn't feel like I needed to. I really love the way the beads look naturally. So what I did at first was I took 8. I have 8 of those 26mm ones. And then when I went to put it in, I was like, you know, this is kind of tight. I don't know if there's enough room in here for me to hang this thing up when we're done. So you guys are going to see in a second, I'm going to turn around. Like, I think that's cute the way it is, but it doesn't look like there's much room. So you see me walk around back here. I have a little hanger on the wall. It's a little dragonfly hook. So I'm trying to hang it. And because the beads aren't exactly center where you would want to hang it, it hangs crooked. So you're going to see me take it apart. I'm going to take most of the beads off and I'm going to add a few of those 16mm ones. So if I'm trying just to make things even, I'll do 4 16mm and 4 26mm. So the way we're going to put them on is going to be 2 26mm, then 4 16mm, and then the other 2 26mm. And it makes the count of beads on that string actually even, so that when I hang it on a wall or a hook or the wall hanger, it will hit right in the even amount of beads so that the tag will hang properly. Otherwise it would hang extremely crooked. So again, 2 26, then 4 16, and then 2 more 26mm beads. And then there I am going back there checking it again to make sure it hangs properly, and she's good to go. So I tap them because I'm happy. Now we're getting ready just to put in all of the cute little magic here. These are going to be, the main event is obviously right there, the sunflower. So one sunflower on my last project and then one sunflower here. These aren't huge arrangements, so of course I had to try to dial it back. I may have some issues with that. We already know I go a little bit extra, especially when it comes to the flowers. Now, I'd say I didn't use any ribbon, but I did use ribbon on that last project, but that was just to fix a boo-boo. But there's no ribbon. Oh no, wait, there is ribbon. You guys will see at the end here. I had a nice little time trying to put ribbon on this thing, or find a way to get some ribbon on it. And you guys give me some slack, only because I haven't done anything in this craft room for a long time. Things have been a little weird for me recently, and you know, I'm just taking it one day at a time. We all have struggles, we all have issues, and some days are just harder than others. And I know many of you are going through the same thing I'm going through, so my heart goes out to you. The way things are going recently, the way the world's going, the way everything's going, you know, we all need each other more than we know. And we also all have a lot more in common than we can possibly think. But Alright, stepping down off my soapbox for now. So the same basic layout, you could say. I'm using the same picks of the lamb's ear and the Dollar Tree eucalyptus. That one sunflower. Again, these colors are just making me, I just feel these colors. I love them. It's muted, but in the most softest way. It's like not harsh at all, and I wish I had some more white to add to this one, because the last one, remember, we put those white pumpkins in it and it was just like a bright crisp white, and I love the way it looked. And I don't normally mix like muted browns and tones and greens and stuff. Usually I love a lot of bright green, even for the holidays and Christmas and fall. I like using bright greens, but this just spoke to me. Lamb's ear is like one of my favorite greeneries to use. So that's right now, that's all there is a sunflower, eucalyptus, and lamb's ear. So here the trick for this is, because I'm not covering it before I do the arrangement, I'm going to cover it after. I'm just going to put this around the base. Again, here, Dollar Tree Spanish moss. I'm using the brown, of course, because again, the only stuff I have at my house right now, I had to buy that at Dollar Tree when I went the other day, is a bright, like really spring green color Spanish moss. So I'm just applying some hot glue to the base of where all these stems are going in, and I'm kind of just putting it on like a little border. So I'm not even really pushing it into the pumpkin. I'm pushing it into the stems that we've pushed into the pumpkin, if that makes sense. You guys let me know. So I'm just using this as like a little skirt. It's covering all of the behind the scenes, so you can't really see it. Using just a dowel or some needle nose pliers there, just to kind of tuck it in. And you'll see here, apply glue right towards the base there, and then just tap some of that Spanish moss on top, and then kind of use my this is a dowel left over from another project, just to tap that into the stems, just to get it up in there. And the hot glue holds it on. You know, Spanish moss is a little messy, and it will shed on you depending on how much glue you use. I'm okay with it. I usually don't like using it, but it's become one of my favorite fillers. Recently, probably within the last year, I've been using more and more of it in my arrangements, and it really does make a difference. It makes everything look a lot better, because trying to hide a lot of that stuff with leaves and florals, number one, can become expensive, and number two, is very wasteful. Now here's some items. Those are really old. Now these berries I actually use, but the other berries I don't. So these berries I am using in this project, but those other little leaves off to the right, I got those at Joann's probably 5 years ago, guys. Every time I pull them out, honest to God, every time I pull them out, I never use them. I have not found anything where it just feels like this is it. It's like always, oh, this is a great color, they're going to look good, and I have not used them. I've had these two little picks in my little stash forever. For years, guys, for years. Let me know, do you guys have anything like that? It's just like, it haunts your stash forever because you'll never use them. Now here you see a transition into this bow. Let me explain. I have over 26 minutes of footage of me trying to tie a bow and get a bow to look right with a different kind of ribbon. So I shut off my recording, and then of course I didn't turn it back on when I got this. This is Dollar Tree farmhouse striped ribbon. This is a very common ribbon you can get at Dollar Tree, and I love it. I desperately love it. So I do not have footage of me actually tying the bow. I'm very sorry, guys, but I will put out, if you want, I could put out like a bow video or something. I'm very rusty since I haven't been doing things for a few months. I'm very rusty, but majority of the time I can get the point across. If you guys want to learn a little bit, or at least see what I do, let me know, and I can try to make just a big bow video of a bunch of bows. You guys tell me. So I'm just putting the finishing touches on it here, and then this is it. That's it. I love it. I did cut apart the little berries and kind of spread them apart, but I never took them back out from the original when I popped it right there in the middle. So here's the two girls. Aren't they cute? I love the fact that they're fairly complementing of each other. They've got the same supplies in them, majority. One's got, obviously the wall hanging's got more gray in it, but the natural color of the beads brings out that nautical rope, and I love it. There's a little bit of, the brighter orange in that ribbon that I put in there to cover that oopsie, but I love them. They make me smile. You guys let me know in the comments how you feel about it. And that's about it, guys. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.